First thing I have to do is, welcome in Varese. I'm very happy you are all here. I will make a roll call just to check that nobody is missing from the pilots, and I want to introduce you to the organizing team. Excuse me? Gillian. Okay. Maybe. Okay, Gillian is still somewhere else. Così è magnifico vedere tutto un infinito. Okay, I'm sorry. This is a very improvisated briefing. I've also had a total crash of my phone today, so I have without communication means. So this is not the official opening briefing. Questo non è il briefing ufficiale di apertura. You are kindly but firmly required to come to the official opening briefing at 18 hours, 6 p.m. at Villa Ponti in Varese. È necessario, è obbligatoria la presenza a Villa Ponti Varese alle ore 18 per il briefing ufficiale. It's a different location. You will find indications. You will find indication to reach Villa Ponti, and there will be drinks and refreshments offered by the organization there. I thank you, the President, Margot, for allowing me to make this new experience. I was competition director, but this is my first qualifying GP. And I particularly warmly thank the National Air Force and Captain Francesco Sudati, who is our meteo man. Francesco Sudati dell'Aeronautica, che è il nostro meteorologo per la competizione. And I can't forget to mention François Robert and Gianni Maiocchi, who are working very, very hard, and they wake me up when I don't. And Daniele Orlandi, who is chief of all the electronics and streaming, and is the wizard of all the electronics in the system. And Gillian Spreckley has just arrived as the IGC referee for the qualifying Grand Prix. Thank you very much. She's also keeping an eye on me and suggesting very important things. So first of all, I would like to ask if everybody is here, so please just say yes or something like that. Russell Cheetham from the UK, thanks. Peter Hartmann from Austria, yeah. Luciano Avanzini from Italy. Mike Young from the UK. Giorgio Galetto, I can see him. Alberto Sironi, there he is. Bostian Pristavets, oh ciao, okay. Thomas Gostner, haha, missing. We already have one pilot missing, okay. Ugo Pavesi, ciao Ugo. John Gatfield from the UK. Alois Baumgartner, lui è lì, ciao. Dall'Italia Luca Znidarsic, ciao Luca, nice to see you again. Alberto Testa, where is Alberto Testa? Okay, and two are missing. Yeah, I know he's there. Alessandro Villa, I've heard the noise. Pino Del Grande is here from Italy. Ugo Raffaelli is here, ciao. Chris Luton from the UK, thanks. Aldo Pigni is here. Gustavo Saurin, thank you. And Sergi Pujol from Spain, ciao. So the roll call is more or less okay. We will make sure, we will ask why they are, the two other pilots are not here. And Margot, do you have any special communication for the pilots at the moment?
No.
Okay, thanks. Tonight. And Gianni, you have anything you want to say immediately? You will talk later. So today, let me tell you, we will not set a task. Because, as Captain will explain, there are so many uncertainties about the weather situation today. So we don't want to mess with something which may be too short, extremely short, or will be possibly impossible. So you are welcome to fly. a local flight, a distance flight, whatever you like. Just listen to the meteo briefing and choose your task as you prefer. You may grid your gliders after the briefing. We will give you later during the briefing informations about it. So I now welcome Captain Francesco Sudati to please describe the meteo situation for today. Thank you. Vero Daniele? Che devo fare così? Ce la fai?
Così?
Sì, ottimo, grazie.
Ok. Do you hear me? Yes? Ok.
Non è un amplificatore, devi parlare, è solo per lo streaming.
Ok. So, this is the weather situation. Okay, this is maps show up situation at high levels with the trough from the cold region in the North Europe, elongated from the Central Europe, and a high ridge in the Ocean Atlantic. This is a situation that with the high pressure in Great Britain and Ireland, and low pressure in the Mediterranean areas. So a cold front from the north and the system in the central Italy. This is a satellite image with the cold air moving from north and reaching Germany, and in the evening the Alps, and then during the night and tomorrow vacated Alps and move in the Padanian Plain and so on. A focus in the Italy now. Now in the Italy, only in the central region and the south there is instability condition at the moment. In the north, actually, at the moment, no precipitation, but clouds, high scattered, medium scattered, and some at few level. This is a focus of the north of Italy. This is an indication of instability condition in general, whole north of Italy. Especially in the central and the east part, but also in the west for the afternoon. This is diagrams thermodynamics, soundings, forecast for the forecast at 15 local time, with a high condition of instability, with a cape just above 2000 of joule per kilograms. And this is our winds forecast at flight level 025, around 750 meters, are just only 10 knots from west in the north, okay? And at above, around flight level 050, the same in these areas 10, but in our areas in the Alps from north, not too strong, only 5 to 10. And just at flight level 100, around 3000 meters, there are not strong winds, just only from northwest around 10 knots. This is the forecast for Calcinate. We start look at meteorological condition observed at Milano Malpensa airport. One of the last meter winds, variable 2 knots, visibility goods, just only a few cumulus, the temperature 17 degrees, and just the forecast, just only some clouds and temporarily from 12 to 15 shower rain. And here for Calcinate, I forecast a probability of 30% of thunderstorm just from 2, 3, and 4 of the afternoon, and perhaps some gust of winds during the shower rain. This is the model forecast. Model forecast pointed in the Lake of Varese, just here. Not precipitation, but only clouds, convective clouds here in the afternoon, and for tomorrow instead good condition without clouds, good sunny, but just only winds from north around 10 knots. This is for tomorrow. And here the slides with the forecast, 3 days forecast, and the outlook for the 4th and the 5th days. So tomorrow, Sunday here, with the maximum temperature around 23 degrees, sunny days, but just only winds 10 knots from north, and no warnings. And for Monday,
the wind you just mentioned is considered on the ground.
On the ground, yes, around 10, but it will be some calm also, just not only. And for Monday, during the morning, a lot of clouds, low clouds, but during the day, the sun prevails, and light winds from east, southeast, and in the afternoon, probably in the mountain regions at east, thunderstorm. Not here. Okay. The best days most probably will be Tuesday. A lot of sunny days with a very low probability of thunderstorm in the central west part of the north of Italy. And we are not sure what at Wednesday and Tuesday, so tomorrow we see better. Any questions?
Thank you, Captain. Thank you. Puoi ripassarmi il microfono, per favore, grazie. Compreso la scatolina, grazie. E Daniele, quando vuoi mettere la mia schermata, grazie. Sì, c'era una domanda.
It's not the case to explain how will be the procedure for the final and the arrival, so the pilot can trial.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Even if we did not set a task for today, I will explain a suggested reporting point and finish procedure for today. Yeah,
Also the starting procedure.
yeah. So, let's start with the briefing. Daniele, cosa devo fare per girare le pagine? Ok. Vuoi farmi full, metti la pagina a pieno? So, welcome. The event we are attending and producing is the qualifying GP in Varese, but it's also a national championship for the 18-meter class, e anche il campionato italiano. I thank the organizing club Adele Orsi, which is where I was born as a pilot, and as you can see the dates, well, you know them very well. Next page. The organizing committee, I wrote it in 5 minutes, so I forgot something. For example, before, I forgot to mention Alberto Albertazzi, our Director of Operations on the airfield, and please refer to him for any questions about handling of the gliders around the field and the takeoff procedures. He's our chief tow pilot, chief instructor, etc., etc. And I already introduced some of the people. The scorers are Gianni Maiocchi and François Robert, already mentioned before. Weighing and scrutineering were performed by François Robert with the club's mechanic Fabio Rocca, and that includes daily weigh-in check procedures. The grid manager is, just as said, Alberto Albertazzi, meteo forecast by the Air Force. The secretaries are Daniela Migliarina, specifically for the competition, and Massimo Zottola for all activities in the club. And chief tow pilot, once again, Alberto Albertazzi. Our press committee is made by Veronica Rossetti and Marco Cattaneo. They will produce essentially communications on the social media, Facebook, principally. I'm the safety officer. And the sporting committee is something that is required for the national competition. Il campionato italiano prevede la formazione di una commissione sportiva operante, which is made by Danilo Spelta, Presidente, Marco Cappelletti and Luca Urbani, who agreed to be our referees for the national competition. Next, thank you. Everyday gridding will be after the briefing, except for a different communication on my part on the day before, I suppose. Please follow the instructions given by the organizers. We will set markings on the runway, movable markings, and you will park your glider according to the local procedures. It was already written there, and you will leave a wide space between one row and the following one, so that it's possible to park gliders later. And then when the 20 gliders have been all gridded, we can compact the gridding line towards the beginning of the runway. Today, the field is particularly wet, so please drive carefully, slowly. Reduce the use of your car to the bare minimum. That's also for your safety, for the safety of the gliders, but essentially to preserve the grass in our beautiful field. It will take 1 or 2 days before it's really dry. Airspace. The airspace file, as published already 2 weeks ago probably, is still valid. It's the last edition of the airspace file. We have Malpensa airspace very close to our club, to our airport. Abbiamo lo spazio aereo di Malpensa molto vicino, a sud dell'aeroporto, just south of the airport. It is possible that during takeoff, during towing operations, your airspace alarm will say that you infringed the airspace. That, of course, will not be penalized by us. We will check every flight for this kind of infringement. If the tow plane takes you there, it's probably inevitable and you will not be penalized for this. Non ci sono penalità se al decollo entrate nello spazio aereo di Malpensa. There is an absolute altitude limit over all the competition area of 3,500 meters above mean sea level. Il limite di quota generale della competizione è 3.500 metri. Ci sono delle penalità per chi superasse questo limite fino a un massimo di 100 metri, ma è questo l'unico limite per il quale esiste una tolleranza di fatto. This is the only altitude limit for which there is tolerance that traduces into a penalty. All the other altitude or horizontal limits, airspace limits, are with zero tolerance. Okay? I think that's clear. Anybody have questions? Okay. As some pilots have asked, we will provide conversions every day for your flight level limits on the task sheet, and we will probably traduce also meters in feet if anybody requires that. But of course, the official units are meters, and as described in the airspace file. Thank you.
Not flight level, meters.
But on the airspace file, the region in Torino, which I don't know if we will ever use, is described in flight level, 85 or 95. That's in the airspace file according to the AIP, so, but we will write the different. Anyway, 85 and 95, I don't think will ever be a big problem. Flight notifications. The daily routine, le procedure di decollo, qui durante questa gara sono le solite di tutti i giorni di attività di volo per i soci a CAO, cioè dovete fare la scheda di volo. The notification follows the usual routine here in the club. That means you have been given a small white card. You must use that at the club's monitor screen, and there is a card reader. You just put it near the reader, and your informations, your personal informations will appear on the screen, and you will check what is your altitude, if you have something special. Otherwise, you just press print, and you will have a notification flight printed, a flight notification printed. Yeah, of course, we will explain it. As you will see in person, it's much easier than described. But anyway, before takeoff, you must have a small piece of paper printed there, which says, which includes the information of your glider and yourself, and saying, I want to take off. That's what our procedure. Okay, thanks. Questions? Okay, there are two terminals for the system. One is also at the bar, close to the window.
The one here is touch screen, the other one downside you need the mouse, but we will check together.
The release altitude?
Later. Scrutineering crew will install a tracking unit in your sailplane. We will try to meet your requirements, but the priority goes to having this unit effectively installed in the sailplane. So
safety first.
Safety first, of course, but the unit must be able to work, and the scrutineering team knows where it can be put and where it will not work if we put it. Okay? Thank you. This is a requirement for the competition, for the qualifying GB. There are a few addenda to the rules, especially for Italian pilots, and I will explain it. It's very important. All loggers must be set with a recording interval of maximum 3 seconds. So please check your logger for this kind of flight interval recording. If you have the Zander logger and you only have the Zander logger, no other loggers, I know that the minimum you can set is 5 seconds. In that case, we will accept 5 seconds, but that's the only known exception to the rule of 3 seconds. So, per favore, dovete assicurarvi che i logger siano settati con un intervallo di registrazione di 3 secondi o inferiore. È una regola importante e sono previste penalità e io come direttore di gara sono obbligato a introdurle. Se avete uno Zander logger, quello può arrivare a 5 secondi, non meno, accetteremo i 5 secondi, ma è l'unica eccezione che possiamo fare. Verificate il vostro logger. Ovviamente verificate che il vostro logger registri l'utilizzo del motore ENL se avete un motore a bordo. Attenzione perché quando andate a cambiare i settaggi del logger, magari per il tempo, potrebbe cambiarvi anche l'altro settaggio. Verificate tutto. If you have to change the settings in your logger, make sure your ENL is turned on if you have a motorized glider, and make sure that while setting the flight record interval, there were no automatic changes to other settings. Just make sure. We will accept one file from the main logger, and you have to declare which one is your main logger, and we can accept, when we require it, quando necessario vi chiederemo di portare il secondo logger, a second logger. We cannot accept other loggers than those declared before the flight or during scrutineering, during registration. There are two technical requirements. One is turn on your loggers at least 2 minutes before takeoff. Accendete i logger almeno 2 minuti prima del decollo, perché dobbiamo vedere una baseline, una reference altitude of the ground, dobbiamo vedere l'altezza del terreno per poter validare le altre quote durante il volo, in order to evaluate all the other altitudes during your own flight. So, please turn it on 2 minutes before takeoff, at the least. Secondly, the official altitude of the airfield is 243 meters. That means we will set every flight for a takeoff at 243 meters. No, we will not consider QNH because the GP evaluation program uses this kind of information. So it's much easier for you, it's a bit more complicated for us.
An official QNH will be given you just to set up your safety. For safety reason, of course, you must know the QNH.
Yeah.
But also because we will use a backup system that will CU. CU needs QNH for the scorer. So, officially, penalties will be given you according to the SGP system and according to the QFICO. If we will have problem with SGPs one or internet, that means I cannot operate on the cloud, I will use CU and we will use QNH as CU doesn't understand QFICO. But it will be just an emergency case, and we will discuss case by case in case of penalties.
Thank you. There are no separate ranking, classification, daily results for the Italian competition and the qualifying GP. The qualifying GP results are the official ones also for the national championship. La classifica del campionato nazionale è quella del GP, giorno per giorno, come da regole. Please send your flight recorder files after the flight. Absolutely. For yesterday, but okay. But from tomorrow, okay. Please send your recorder files to scoring.akeo@gmail.com. This is
The only system?
It's the only system. If should I say something more, Gianni? It's the only.
No USB, nothing else.
We have
It's very
Wi-Fi
easy.
all over the field, all over the field. If we have problems with Wi-Fi or internet, of course, I will receive the files. I prefer, this email will be set up as information in the task sheet every day. And just in case we must collect your physical cards or loggers, a person will collect it, not me, not the scorer, but will be a relay between me and you.
But including a beer, I suppose.
Including
A beer paid at the bar. Please use Wi-Fi for this. It's very easy. We will assist you if you need some information how to do it. I will tell you how.
Explain you the reason for that. last time during the final, we got a USB. Last time during the final, we got a USB card with a virus inside, and everything just messed up. And I did everything again. So no more chances to have it, because, and of course, your email will also give me the arrival time of your file. You will be penalized if your file will be late. That means the official timing of receiving your file is the timing of your email. That's it.
Yeah, thanks. Questions?
Do you have a computer here to upload?
We have at least two computers in the club. Yes. Okay. One is here, and one, well, we will provide it. Okay. Safety equipment. We need you to bring an ELT, PLB, or spot locator device. And we need you to carry and turn on an anti-collision device like FLAR. By the way, the club flight management system, that is, let's say, the bookkeeping of our flights, is based on a FLARM recording device. So we are very kindly requested, if possible, to select normal mode on your FLARM, not stealth mode. We would really like it. Otherwise, we will have somehow to provide your takeoff time and landing time in other ways. But anyway, this is just a requirement, okay? But please use it and turn it on. Please take care. Let's try to make this competition as safe as possible. And so the see and avoid principle is always valid. Guardate fuori. That's the most important things. Look out. And also because not everybody have a FLARM flying around the area. Even if it is compulsory equipment in this club, it is not in other nearby clubs. What happened? Okay. It is prohibited to carry on board devices which may make cloud flying or blind flying possible. No IFR instruments like horizons or whatever in your glider. Next. Non si va in nube, state fuori dalle nubi. Grazie. During this competition, we have almost completed the scrutineering operations. So we have a reference weight for your glider. You must check the weight of your glider at the weighing team while during reading with your glider attached to your tow car in the usual configuration you have checked during the scrutineering operations. Please don't make any change to that except if you just load less amount of ballast. That, of course, you can do. If you are overweight, you can dump your water immediately. Is that right?
Yeah,
immediately at the weighing station. And there is no penalty, but you must dump your water to the reference until reaching the reference weight. We can decide for further checks on the grid or during grading or or on the runway. In that case, we will have to weigh the main wheel and the tail wheel and the pilot. Radio communications, the local frequency is 128.450. And that is for landing and for takeoff. Immediately after release or switching off your engine, you must switch to the compulsory competition frequency 123.375, which is also the national gliding frequency. So it is not a special frequency for us for the competition. It is open also to other pilots. You may kindly ask other pilots if they are talking too much to reduce communications to a bare minimum for safety. But this is not a reserved frequency only for you, I'm sorry. During all the free flight, you will stay on 123.375. Penalties apply, and you will send a communication to the ground crew, to the team, announcing your arrival, let's say around 10 kilometers from the airfield. Or the last waypoint, for example. Yeah. And then you will change frequency. You will usually receive an answer from us, but even if you don't, you will switch frequency for the landing to 128.450. Any questions? Thank you. Motorized sailplanes must have their ENL recording turned on in their loggers. Dovete avere l'ENL acceso nel logger se avete il motore a bordo. We must be able to see at least an engine check run during flight lasting at least, let's say, 45 to 90 seconds. Around 1 minute is okay. That is the bare minimum. We need to see it at least today or tomorrow, the first competition day. And we need to see every day that your ENL recording is turned on. We do not require an engine check run every day during the flight, if you want. If you have a, yeah.
Just as a question, I only have Papa Golf as a pure glider. Is it correct?
No,
Alfa Tango.
There are many.
Tango.
Sono 5-6.
Okay, who has a pure sailplane, no engine available? Papa Golf, what is your competition sign? Lima Echo, Papa Golf, Yankee, Alfa Tango, and that's all? Okay, those are the pure sailplanes, so they don't have any ENL requirement. Regarding takeoff, self-launchers, will qualcuno decolla autonomo, anybody will self-launch? Only one? Two will self-launch. The procedure is very easy. You follow the tow planes. You must release in the same exact area. You cannot, unfortunately, turn off your engine higher than the assigned release altitude. Devo dirlo in italiano? Okay, thanks. You must turn off your engine inside the release area, as described. Of course, we will be a little... Okay?
Questa era l'italiano, prima era l'inglese.
Sì, l'ho ripetuto. No, the check, you can do it anytime as usual before the start. Yeah, for 1 minute approximately. Okay. There are no... Yeah.
Oggi, per la prova motore può valere anche il volo di oggi?
Yes. Today's flight is valid as an engine test run for the ENL recording. If you do it today and we tell you it's valid, you don't need to do it tomorrow. Yeah.
In caso di attaccare a motore,
yes.
Devo atterrare?
Absolutely. Anybody with engine, if you need a relaunch, you must land and then have a second launch, even if you have a self-launcher. You cannot use the engine to avoid. Grazie.
Chi ha il self-launcher deve fare lo stesso la scheda.
Sì, scheda di decollo per i self-launchers.
Non vi addebitano niente, ma abbiamo bisogno della vostra, perché dobbiamo seguire la procedura.
Sì.
Manca da bollo.
Sì. Se no il segretario ci sgrida tutti, è cattivo. There is no special requirement about turning to the left or to the right before crossing the start line or in the vicinity of the airport. Just look out, follow the usual rules, which is if somebody else is in the thermal before you, you must turn in the same direction, of course, no matter if he is a competition glider or not. On the SGP rules, there are special requirements instead for turning to the right, which is absolutely prohibited inside the start area. That is the small semi-circle before the start, for 5 minutes before the start? 5 minutes during 5 minutes before the start line is open. You cannot turn to the right, not even for more than 90 degrees. You can make small deviations to the right, otherwise all turns must be to the left. That's for safety reasons, because of the particular peculiar start procedure of the GP. Also, it is totally, absolutely prohibited, daily disqualification, or even worse, if you fly the start line in the opposite direction to the assigned direction. Never do that. Just turn around and come back, okay?
Unless you have a different time.
2 minutes.
Only
2 minutes.
The last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes,
2 minutes
2 minutes before and after the start. The start line and the start circle. Inside the start circle, you never have to turn to the right in the last 5 minutes. The start line, you never have to cross it backwards if you have to go this direction, never backwards 2 minutes before or 2 minutes later than the start line was opened. You have to turn around it. If you have to come back, you have to turn around it, okay? Thanks.
Okay, just as experience of last year, we set up 2 different start lines. One is start 1 and the other one is start 2. Start 1 will be used always when the task will be set to east. So for you leaving Campo dei Fiori, it will be almost natural to turn always left. Okay? If we set up start 2, that means leaving Campo dei Fiori, you must turn right to reach it. We will remember you that every day, we will refresh you every day that you will never, ever turn right for more than 90 degrees before reaching the start line.
Inside the start area.
Inside the starting area, so the semicircular starting area.
And the regular rules about right of way apply. So please use your airmanship as usual. In case you are facing traffic coming from in front of you, you have to turn to the right to make some corrections. That's all. The usual rules. The start procedures. Okay. In a GP, in un Grand Prix, le procedure. I will say it both in Italian and English. Okay. The start line is 5 kilometers long. That's 2.5 plus 2.5 above the start point. We will announce the opening of the start line on the free flight frequency, 12337. And that will happen not sooner than 20 minutes after the last competition launch. I may declare a later opening, but I will not postpone it, as I'm not allowed to do it. If I declare a time, I can either finally tell you the start line is open or cancel the start line. That's what I can do. I cannot postpone it. 20 minutes or more, I will decide it, and it will be printed on the task sheet or communicated via radio communication. La linea di partenza è simmetrica di 2,5 più 2,5 km per un totale di 5 km. Comunicheremo la partenza e un conto alla rovescia, un countdown for start, on the free flight, sulla frequenza di volo libero, 123.375. Cosa ho detto d'altro? È sufficiente, vero? Okay.
Che non possiamo
sì,
posporre
almeno 20 minuti dopo l'ultimo decollo, non prima. Una volta che abbiamo stabilito l'orario non lo posso posticipare, però posso cancellare per sempre la partenza.
Tieni presente che in tutti i Gran Prix precedenti il direttore di gara chiedeva chi erano i più bassi in modo che tutti fossero in
Sì,
condizioni.
lo farò, of course. I will ask if somebody is not at a valid altitude for starting, otherwise I can provide a solution for that. There will be an altitude limit on the start every day, and the maximum speed on the task, on the start, 150 kilometers per hour. 170 kilometers per hour ground speed on the starting line. 170 km/h maximum speed. Altitude will be defined every day on the task sheet.
As the start line will be under the TMA of Milano, that means Class A airspace, 5,500 meters, we will give you a start line limit that allows you to climb to the maximum and to go to the starting line with a speed of 170 km per hour. So we will make a calculation
Limits
and
will
set
be
it up.
compatible with the situation, yeah. Next one, thanks. In case of an outlanding, you must communicate immediately with the competition director and also with your crew, and we can provide help. Okay, yeah, that's right. We have a, okay, in your, in your printed documents, you will find a sheet about your outlanding with indications. The people coming to you, if they don't speak English, you can have them read this. Prego, leggi questo. And so they will know everything. There are the there are phone numbers, etc. In case of an accident or a serious incident, national rules apply. There are two entities which must be informed of this. Penalties in money, in cash, very hard cash apply, up to 40,000 euros. That means if the glider is damaged further than the landing gear or the wingtips or the canopy, you must give a communication immediately to the numbers here described. Take pictures of the situation of your glider before the rigging. And your coordinates before the rigging the glider. That's very important. Nothing will happen, probably. The inspectors of the National Safety Board will probably tell you, please describe what happened. Okay, take pictures, take as much information as you can, and then you can remove your glider. But you must be authorized by these entities to remove your glider.
The day after.
No, absolutely, immediately. What happened, and I have seen it, what happened is an inspector going to a repair station, finding a glider heavily damaged there, finding the owner and giving a fine, very heavy, thousands of euros, for not having declared the accident to the national entities. That's all. Yes.
The first time I hear it. So if there is just a damage to the aircraft, I must follow.
Any damage further high, more serious, yes.
It's not damage to persons. It's
Also damage to persons must be reported, but then of course your health comes first.
I don't have to touch anything. I have to apply.
Exactly. If you break a wingtip, if you break a wingtip, if you break the gear undercarriage doors, if you break the canopy, no problem. You can avoid calling them. Probably even if you break the landing gear, probably, because the legs can be replaced. For anything more than that, like cracks or big dents in the leading edge of the wing, whatever, serious damage which requires repairs, apart from the wingtips or the main landing gear, must be reported, yes. That's the rule. Okay, that's the rule. I informed you about the rule.
Before touching or removing?
Before the rigging the glider. You must be authorized, and that applies to any flight in the country. Yes.
Just something else. This report must be done also if there is no accident but an incident. That means
serious
if you must outland because you made a collision, with some other plane,
for
example, you make the outlanding and you declare the miscollision at the same authorities. Please remember that anytime you have a miscollision in air, the other plane usually declare it. So the authorities accept 2 reports.
We are talking other traffic than competing gliders, I suppose. Yeah? Okay. Alberto.
Giusto per riepilogare,
Yeah.
prima della partenza i momenti sono 5 minuti, 2 minuti, 1 minuto. Cioè,
Yes.
dove succede qualcosa, hai 5
Sì.
minuti, non puoi più girare a destra.
Inside the start area.
Hai 2 minuti,
Tutti dentro.
Hai 2 minuti prima e 2 minuti dopo non puoi andare all'indietro sulla linea.
ok, invece hai 2 minuti, devi essere nel
1 minuto.
semispazio.
No, 1 minuto tu devi essere behind the extended start line, not in the start, not necessarily 1 minute before, not necessarily in the start area.
Ok, in 2 minutes before you can't cross
The start line in the opposite position.
Extend.
No, the start line.
The 5 kilometers.
Yeah. The start line in.
Quindi c'è tra i 2 minuti e 1 minuto, tra 2 minuti e 1 minuto tu devi tornare indietro, ma non lo puoi fare dentro la linea, lo devi fare fuori dalla linea.
Non lo puoi fare dentro la linea, puoi farci il giro.
Necessariamente sei di là.
Ok, però se devi crossare, devi crossare fuori.
You must turn around the start line.
It will give me a danger.
If you outland in a recognized airfield, or airport, we can provide aerotows. We of course cannot provide aerotows from excellent, good, flat fields. They must be registered airfields.
San Vittore.
No. That's Switzerland. Esatto. Yeah, that's what I said.
When you say line, you intend 5 kilometers only? No,
Yeah.
no?
Line 5 kilometers.
Also
Start
all
line.
segment.
La linea di partenza.
What do you mean when you say that you should be...
There is a start. Okay. There is a start line, and that is 5 kilometers. La linea di partenza è di 5 chilometri. It's limited in extension. But you must be behind the extended start line in the last minute. Devi essere dietro alla linea estesa in the last minute before the start.
We will show you graphically tomorrow
It's easy.
some examples, okay, of wrong and right procedures, starting procedures.
Devi ripassare dietro.
Is there just a penalty or
Esatto.
disqualified?
Per certe cose sì, per certe cose penalty.
You must be behind the start line. It's not so difficult. The extended line. 1 minute before.
Di quale campo di fiori, la linea di là, non riesci a passare...
Ci vai e parti dopo. Ci vai dopo e parti dopo.
Dipende dalla distanza e dal tempo.
Devi solo aspettare.
Non è che sei, cioè, devi aspettare...
Devi aspettare 2 minuti.
Ho detto che non puoi essere al di qua della linea estesa. Giusto? Se non puoi essere, non puoi essere.
I think I will discuss it in private, ok? Ne parliamo dopo. Ne parliamo
Tomorrow
dopo.
we will graphically show you what to
Yeah.
do and what not to do in these 5 minutes.
Stasera.
I understand this question. I will explain. It's a bit complicated. It's a very particular situation. You mean if you are very low and you cannot go? Yes, of course. I will tell you. Okay? It is possible. It is not impossible. All right. Next. This comes from an old file. I'm sorry, there is no finish ring. There is only a finish line. The finish line is... oh no, that's also wrong. That comes from a different file. I'm sorry. Okay, that is the wrong information about the finish line. I'll tell you verbally. The finish line is 0.5 kilometers long. That means 250 meters radius on the finish line. Okay.
These on the airfield.
Oh, every day. That's according to the rules.
Is it on the airfield?
On the airfield, maybe, or maybe somewhere else. Yeah. Today,
Why so short?
that's the rules. I can't do anything different. Non ho libertà di darla diversa.
Alla quota dell'aeroporto.
La linea, ma noi dobbiamo volarci sopra ad un'altezza assegnata. Just wait. For today, landing circuit, I will not set a task just as I told you, but I strongly suggest that you will practice the arrivals. And I suggest you use reporting point Gurone, Juliet Uniform Romeo Oscar November Echo. And I suggest that today you set a finish line with a minimum altitude of 400 meters above mean sea level. That means approximately 160 meters above the ground, which is the essentially correct altitude. If you have, let's say, 150 kilometers per hour, it will be okay. For going directly in the downwind leg, and I suggest, especially in case of wind, that you fly a right-hand circuit. So coming in over the lake, crossing the finish line, going straight for a short downwind, and then turn right and right for base and final on the airfield. In order to reach the finish line at 400 meters AMSL, I suggest you reach the reporting point Gurone at 900 meters AMSL. I may daily apply a minimum altitude on Gurone, but anyway, you are responsible, even if I don't, you are responsible for not flying creative patterns from Gurone to the landing. So no big dives and then pull-ups. From Gurone to the finish line, it must be a constantly descending path. Thank you. 16 kilometers, 16 kilometers.
Gurone
is just east of the airport. And it's one turning point, of course. It's in the database.
SGP rules applies penalty if you, from Gurone or from the last turning point to the finish line, you fly below the minimum altitude has been given for the finish line. That means if I give you 600 meters, you will never must fly below 600 meters from Gurone to here. Okay.
No pull-ups.
No pull-ups. It's not the continued descending path that it was completely crazy, but the minimum altitude you must intend from the last turn point to the arrival in Calcinate.
This one is, which is the arrival point?
Finish line.
Finish line is only one.
Yeah.
From east or west is the same.
Yeah.
Because the suggestion is to use arrival in the database at the beginning of the airfield.
Yeah, but we just have one test database, just one direction. So
if a task from east to west arrival will be set, a minimum altitude higher will be set too. So you will be able to arrive, make your
From west.
Yeah, from west to east. Sorry, thank you, Ugo. You will arrive higher, go to usual
Finish line first.
and
Okay.
left circuit.
Thank you. So for today,
Downwind always right.
for today, if you come from the east, I suggest you fly a right-hand circuit.
it will be 80% of the tasks.
But we are against pilots, club pilots, they fly.
No problem. They are on the radio, and we will coordinate. Okay.
That's also to separate you from the club members.
Radio arrivals. Please announce your arrival with sufficient advance, like 10 kilometers out, or when crossing the last. Yeah.
2 minutes or 10K?
Huh?
10 kilometers or 2 minutes?
Last waypoint is
Usually, last waypoint will be.
Today is 16.
Today is 16. Last waypoint should be good. You will talk, as said already, you will announce on 123 375, and no matter, and you wait for our answer. But if you, for some reason, don't receive it, just switch to 128.450 for landing. That's the club's frequency, and there are also other gliders flying. 128.450. Please vacate the runways to the right. The airfield is quite narrow. Oh yeah, please tell also your contest number while you announce your arrival. The airfield isn't that large, so we need the runways to be vacated as soon as possible. If your glider is a bit slow, please turn to the right immediately. Even if your retrieve will be a bit longer, there are many other gliders needing vital space for landing. Thank you. Flight documentation, flight recorders, 3 seconds already mentioned, I 3 secondi mi raccomando è importante. And sending via email. Scoring will be by the peculiar and appropriate program provided by the IGC, which I think we are testing for the first time, isn't it? Was it already used in other competitions?
Scoring in Russia.
In Russia, okay. It was just tested in Russia on the event just before our event. So we hope it will work. We are sure it will work. Just in case we have problems with that, we will use CU. But the official is the GP scoring system.
Is there any speed limit at the airport?
Speed limit at? No. No. But dangerous behaviors on landing may be penalized. Or, well, the rules say shall be penalized.
During all the flight.
So no dangerous behavior on landing, please. Protests require you to give us 150 euros, which will be returned only if we accept the motivations of your protest. Complaints don't require any cash warranty, and you may talk with me or write to me, okay? While protests are only after a verbal complaint to me. And protests may be sent directly to Gillian or to me. And I will be obliged to give it to. Okay. But I hope there will be no protests. Yeah.
I'll look after it.
I think that was the last page. And if everyone is here, is it which one? We have a requirement for the national competition only. Dobbiamo fare una cosa per il campionato italiano 18 metri, il regolamento ci impone di eleggere, che voi eleggiate, un rappresentante, no, un rappresentante dei piloti, in forma scritta.
Ugo Raffaele.
È vero, adesso diciamo la proposta.
Giorgio si propone.
Magari le 5:30 per andare su insieme.
Ok. While we share these tickets, once again for the briefing tonight, Luciano, once again for the briefing tonight, the briefing will be at 18 hours sharp. So we will leave from here at 5:30. If anyone wants to follow the group, 5:30 tonight we are leaving for the opening ceremony, and we require your kind presence. Already? Facciamo anche quello? Okay. What? It's the official briefing. You may not skip it. You have to be there. Devi venire. Okay. Ok, we did not suggest a name, we will see. Dobbiamo fare subito il controllo dei voti? Gli italiani hanno votato tutti? All Italian votes are here? Thanks. Polls? Any other polls? Thomas?
Do you think it might be useful to do a practice start today for everybody, to practice the radio and
it would be useful for me, but having not set a task, it would be a bit complicated.
Not necessarily?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if you don't mind. Okay. Because I don't know, not many people will fly, etc. So, if you want, I can change my mind in a few minutes. Okay. Yeah. I may say it on the grid. Briefing is not finished. Briefing is not finished. Briefing is not finished. No, briefing is not finished.
Finisce con questa foto.
No, adesso no, domani. No, ti prego.
So
Ti tengo sott'occhio.
the Italian representative of the pilot is Luciano Avanzini. That also means that any feedback is welcome also from the foreign pilot, and you can refer to Luciano too if you have any complaint or suggestion, whatever, and questions too.
Okay, is anything else to say? Yeah, yes. We have maps here for reaching the briefing location tonight.
What does it take? 20 minutes?
Yeah, let's say 20 minutes. Parking is available on site. Parking is available on site. Gustavo, please.
Because the weather has been really bad, we've done no flying, and from a safety point of view, for us to do as much flying as possible would be really helpful. So going at 5:30 means that we leave here now, we fly, we may get 2-3 hours, but is it possible to delay it by an hour? Postpone.
No.
Because we've done no flying.
No. No, I'm sorry, it is not possible.
Can I send my crew
How long does it take? 1 hour?
You know, it's an official occasion.
But it really is really.
Let me talk with the other people in the organizing team, and we'll see what we can do.
Really help us if you could do it
Okay.
safely. I understand you have dignitaries and people that.
Yes, that's the reason. That's the main reason. We will discuss if there is any alternative. But my answer now is no. You must come. Okay. My answer now is that. Also, my answer now is there is no task today. But maybe I will come with a small indication also for a start line or whatever. But for the moment, okay. We have to. Lo vogliamo fare stasera questo in lot?
Ecco,
Greeting.
stasera.
So the greeting tomorrow. Okay.
So we have something to do this now.
We will tonight. We will draw by lot the grading order for the first competition day. So today is first come, first served.
So every day.
In front or today? First in front or?
What? The first coming. Yeah, of course.
Every day
The first
you
in
will
front.
pick up a number. That's
First
your
in front.
pre-draw, and every day you just follow this number. It's just one number to remember. So I will move the cones to let everybody move. So the 2 front line
Yes.
of the first day will be the last second 2 of the
In other words,
second day. And so
in other words,
just
every
one
every
number.
glider will be assigned to a number, which is the line number on the grid. Okay. The line number will move on the grid. You will not be assigned a different number every day. It's just that they will not be in sequence. You will search for your number X, and you will go there, wherever it is.
But not mix it up.
Further, for every line, we need 2 gliders in a line. We need 2 gliders in a line. So the first coming to the runway must park his glider slightly to the north on the concrete runway, and the second one in the same line will come to the south. So if you're coming first on that line, you are not parking on the south, but on the north side of the runway.
Can we choose a partner on the line? No.
No? Thank you. I think that's all for the moment, but tonight is the official briefing, okay?
Cosa devo fare? Monto. Vengo lì da te e lo peti? O non lo monto e te ne fotti?
Allora no, dov'è Ugo? Ugo! I documenti!
Ma insomma,
dimmi cosa vuoi che faccia.
Tu devi portarmi i tuoi documenti personali, i documenti delle anti ufficiato e con l'acqua per arrivare a 573 kg. Se tu arrivi troppo basso ci mettiamo un po' di acqua, se arrivi troppo alto scarichiamo l'acqua, ma io devo pesarti 5 7
no, dentro nel cartone.
Dove ricevo la...
Io faccio uno telefono gelato
E anche di fuori magari. Adesso il manuale di volo del Ventus dice 540 kg.
Ma sono tornare a Bolzano, stamattina.